Oh. I'm live. I didn't put my starting screen on. Yellow. You know what, fuck it. Obviously I didn't do the 5-minute lead up. I just... Hello. Well, that's all I do when I'm not streaming, in case you guys are wondering. I'm just sitting here. Also, we have my dog. He was requested last time. There he is. Oh, he's not even visible already. Well, shoot, you guys missed him. I just put him in here. He's already under the blanket. There is a dog under there. Oh, I need to move this cord. Don't fall. Me. There we go. There we go. Perfect. All right. It's been a while. Remember, I'm gonna stream twice a week. And then I streamed once this whole year, which is a little dramatic because it's only January 29th. But yeah, welcome to the Tavern, peasants. I hope you've been good. And if not, you're about to be a little bit better. I didn't think I was gonna stream today. I knew it was possible, so I'm like out of the shower. My hair is like in crunchy, wet tubes. So don't talk about my hair and don't talk about her elbow. Her elbow hasn't been done. The rest of the model's looking pretty damn good. But the elbow, I don't know. That's gonna be the last thing I do, I think. That's right, Aloha's almost been a member for a whole year. How freaking cool is that? Woo! Almost 1 year of the Tavern being official. Hope everything is doing well to start 2026. Yeah, like, usually when I don't stream for a while, a couple weeks, I mean, that's not too big of a break, but still. I used to stream every day, so usually it's because I had to figure something out or I had life problems or something. Y'all, I have not been streaming because life has been that good. I know it sounds silly, but like, that's the truth of it. I've just been so locked in. I work 4 days a week now instead of 5. There are so many dumb rules out there, whether it's like the 80-20 rule or what is it? There's like a million different things out there, which very much so feels like putting the cart before the elephant or whatever the saying is. But anyway, essentially, what was I gonna say? 'Cause I said that saying so wrong. It's the cart before the horse. But what I mean is like, you guys heard that saying with the elephant rider, and it's like saying you know where it wants to go or not, and then once you get there, it's like, oh, that's what I wanted. It's a saying, I promise. My point being is that my work would expand to fill up as much time as I give it. So I want to see if I could get all my work done in 4 days, and sure enough I can. I'm not even working any harder. So that's been really cool, which opens up maybe doing Friday streams consistently, because I've been finishing my M3DM Monday releases by Wednesday, which means Thursday is completely open for me to work on spicy arts or what I call problem models, which are requests you guys do that are too hard. So right now I'm working on a cyber dragon, and after that I'll be working on Bunny's power suit that's like inspired by Fallout. That's my next problem model. So yeah. So yes. But yeah, hello. Oh, look, all these people in here. Oh, Matt's here. What a lovely model. Time to grab some tea myself. I love it. Cheers. And an elephant is here. Jared, hello. Yeah. Exactly. Also, my workflow has gotten so chaotic in like a fun way, but like, I'm so glad that I started teaching and having students like a year and a half ago, like doing it a lot, because my workflow now is unfollowable, truthfully. It'll be fun for you guys to see it, but like, it's not like step-by-stepable. It's so much just like vibes and just use this technique, and it's all feel. So it's not as teachable, but that does mean I'm looking into making another intermediate to advanced course for my students that have gotten to that point. So a lot of cool stuff going on. All right, lots of words. I have been keeping a note on my phone of stories I want to tell you guys and just little things like that. I don't think I have a ton. Oh, I have some techniques I want to show you guys as well. Yeah, very good. But I'm gonna save those stories for a different time. I got 2 funny ones. And then I have a cool trick I can show you as well. Yes, so have you guys used the brush in ZBrush called Move Infinite Depth? Because it is whack, it is so cool. All right, so let me see if I can do a quick little demo here. Because that's, you know, we're 2 seconds into the stream and I'm like, we're teaching. This is how I've been starting to do fabric. In addition, so what I used to do, and I feel the need to start with this because a lot of y'all have been around a long time, I would do like a little triangle mask, I'd grab my transpose line, and we'd do a little spin. And I still use this technique a lot. If you do a bunch of these side by side, you get these really delicious pipe folds. But what you can also do, which feels like cheating, it really does, is just go to this little skinny part and grab the brush called Move Infinite Depth. You can't really see it. It's at the way left of my screen. But again, it's called Move Infinite Depth. Where is it? Right here. Yeah. Anyway, so what it does is when you use the Move brush, it cuts all the way through the model or all the way through the mesh. So you can grab it and you can use it to pull fabric folds really easily and like ruffles. Isn't that ridiculous? I know Lo's gonna lose her shit over this. I found an even faster, even easier way to do pipe folds. I was absolutely baffled by this. So I knew you'd enjoy that. If you missed my 10-second demo, let me know, I can show it again. That's my favorite kind of Mia techniques are, 10 seconds. Hell yeah. Upside down smiley face from Aloha, or just, yeah, it's one of those techniques that it's so good that it makes you mad because you think of all the time you spent doing pipe folds by hand like a peasant, and then you're like, oh my goodness, that's all I needed to do. Yeah, but there you go. There's a very easy way to sculpt fabric folds. Hey, someone new is here. Mix a freak. I'll call you Mix instead of freak because that feels harsh. Alrighty. But I use a lot of techniques like that to kind of draft her dress here. And I also, here, I'm gonna undo this because I know someone's gonna come in and be like, how do you do fabric folds? And I'll show them that. Okay, so for the dress, another ridiculous thing that I've started doing, which as I kind of mentioned is like my unfollowable, like, it's not because it's so advanced, it's just like if you're a beginner learning to sculpt, it's not very easy to follow. So here's the original dress I did, and it looks like how I used to sculpt. I just did mask and extract, and it's very like, I'm really trying to hold on to that clean topology and stuff. But we don't do that anymore. Shape is everything. I don't care about anything else. In fact, I do a lot of sculpting now, like more than I would expect, like this. Absolute heathen. I have no idea what's going on outside of the shape because I don't care. I just want shape. And then I deal with what's inside. Anyway, but yeah, so I took this dress and I dynameshed it really low, I think is how I started this. See, it's gonna be all mad. How did I initially get this? Let's not worry about the exact technique. Let me just start doing it. I'm using Sculptris Pro a lot. It's pretty much, there we go. So I just smooth that down. And now I have disaster topology. And now that I have this, I really can control the kind of shapes I want to do. And if I want more topology, all I do is make my brush size smaller. I can use my smooth brush, add some tessellation here, and then I can start moving stuff around. It's just the coolest thing ever. I didn't use Sculptris Pro really at all before, and now it is my favorite thing to use. And it's almost exclusively what I use. I use it for hard surface modeling, I use it for organics, and now I can really push this dress shape however I want. And if you're like, but Mia, the topology is so horrible. It doesn't matter. I literally can just do like polish by features, bam, and now that's all cleaned up. And then on top of that, I can simply go to ZBrush and same, and that will clean it up pretty darn good as well. So yeah, there you go. That's obviously a little denser than we need it to be, but it's already at a point that would be easier to work with. And I'm still working single-sided. I'm still not using thickness in my mesh. So we're not too different, but yeah. Aloha also sent me a DM being like, hey, when you figure out how to do like sci-fi sculpting, let me know. And hard surface, that's a work in progress. I have made good progress, but not enough to show and teach with it yet, but I'm going to, and I'll be able to do mechs as well. It'll be cool. It'll be really cool. Yeah. Oh no, Foxy is stressed, overworked, underpaid. I'm sorry. At the tavern, you were also not paid, but at least you don't have to work here, so kick back. Yeah, I finally don't hate Sculptris Pro. I'm finally using it. All it took was just docking it to my UI, and now I use it. Crazy. But my main goal for today is to just sculpt some bases for this project and then answer any questions that you guys have. If you have a question for me, put at Miss M3DM, which I really should change to Mrs. because now I'm married officially on paper. I've been with my husband for like 11 years for those that are new here, but we weren't officially married until last year. Anyway, if you have a question, ping me, because if not, I won't see it. And when you put my name in there, it puts it in bright orange, so I might see it. And if I still don't see it, just keep repeating yourself. I love answering questions. Even if I think your question is stupid or for some reason inappropriate, I don't know how that would even happen, I will still answer it. I'll just tell you I'm not answering your question. So, can we please see the mushroom hat closer? Yeah, of course. Where did my Discord go? Come back. There it is. There we go. It's just a smooth blob shape. Not a whole lot going on there yet. Again, shape. And then I got a butterfly I used a long time ago, but Dynamesh super low because I'm undecided if I'm going to keep it or not. But that was like just the rough techniques I wanted to show you guys as soon as possible. Also, the base in which I started this model was something that was like, I got in an email, it was like ZBrush or something, and it was like free base mesh, and I'm like, sure, I'll take it. And that's how I started this model, was with this base mesh, and then I changed literally everything about it. To the point where I'm like, it would have been faster to not have used the base mesh. That's kind of where I'm at now. I call it like emotional support sculpt. I don't know why. Working from a sphere still kind of intimidates me and takes more brain effort. So instead I take stuff that already exists and then change everything. I don't know. But I'm really, really proud of how her face came out. That took a couple iterations, which I shared in our Discord. As you can tell, this one's pretty angular and I didn't care for the ear here. We're missing, your ear has to have certain components. It's you break it down to like the little, like the whole spot and then the Y arch thing, and then the loop, the arc. I'm bad explaining it. But there's like 3 components you have to have here. And when you only have 2, which they have like the little hole here, and then just the, what do you call that? Tube, the outside tube. It's fine. You really need that Y to make it look good. Anyway, versus this face. Really fun. Really enjoying it. But Mia, how make money with art? You know, I really should do like a little video or course on that at some point. I mean, I have one about how to make money with ZBrush on my YouTube channel, but it's kind of outdated. I have no idea. I don't remember what I said in that video. It might be relevant still. Oh, it is the freak is Jester. That's right. And you said, I think it got buried. You're not putting Miss M3DM, so I'm not getting pinged. What's the general rule for triangles on models for 3D printing? Does it matter? You pretty much just don't want it to have like a million points. If you're 500,000 and under, you're for sure good. And you can slice a million points. It just takes longer. That's it. That's it. Sean says, I know how you'd find a question inappropriate. Example, will this print? Yeah, I fucking hate that. That drives me crazy. And like, it shouldn't. I think most people that ask that question are just asking, but then I get annoyed because I'm like, I wouldn't be sculpting it if it wasn't gonna print. Speaking of, have I showed you guys this printed? The horse girl in me is just so happy. Like, I even printed it 2 different sizes because, yeah. I can't believe how good this turned out. Also, the tail I took off of my Chiron, whatever, and just reused it. Because if you're going to do a really good tail, I don't want to do it again. But I'm obsessed with this. Everything about this. I think I just fucking killed it. So, yes. Miss sounds like a teacher, which is appropriate. This is true. Mia, you have shown us the winged horsey, but please continue to squee. I will. All right. I need to do sculpting stuff. Miss also sounds like mistress, which is inappropriate for everybody, but Mr. M3DM, which you put with a pound or euro, I can never remember, I think it's a pound, which is even funnier to me. Oh yeah, and just to anyone that doesn't know, Mr. M3DM in my Discord is my husband. It's not a bot. A lot of you, like a couple people thought it was a bot because he always posts like the M3DM Monday releases, like announcement stuff. That is a real whole ass human. That is not a bot. That is my husband. There he is. Again, not a bot. Very real. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's do some sculpting. I think that's what we're here for. Why does she look totally naked now? Where did all of her clothes go? I just imported a plane. I don't know why that hid all of her clothes. Okay. Oh yeah, I have like one like super simple base right here, which I don't really like. We're gonna redo that. And I do have some shoes I blocked out that look like little socks, which were super old in concept. And then I actually brought in a nice shoe and worked on that concept here. Again, a lot of Sculptris Pro being used here. Just shapes. I don't care about, I mean, obviously I made the shoe itself look nice, but then the blobs and the mushroom goodness around it is just shapes. Take a shot every time I say that word shape this stream. Christ. Okay. I'm going to delete the stuff that I obviously don't need anymore because this is kind of becoming a disaster organization-wise. I like to hoard all of my subtools just in case I might need them later, which is silly because I never go back to them. All right, I can hide her feet because I have new feet for her. Something else I want to show you guys really quick, going to teaching mode here. If you look at my subtools on the right here, it's kind of too small for you to see, but you'll see a lot of these things are labeled like hair push or like face push. So that's a new thing that I do in my workflow that's like labeled, where I just duplicate stuff that I think looks a little boring and I name it something push and I push all the shapes, literally. And 10 times out of 10, I end up keeping the new face or whatever is labeled push. And I highly recommend that you guys start doing the same. So, do I have any originals for the face? So like, I think this is my pushed face, and then this is my not, which the only thing I did was open her mouth a little bit, which I think is kind of silly and kind of blow up doll. But I now understand why models do it in pictures, like the little thing. It does look more interesting. I definitely used to make fun of that, and now I understand. So I don't need her closed mouth version anymore. All right, now we can go on to making the stinking base. I don't know why when I appended a shape, it deleted all of her clothes. So I was like, okay, I need to organize this while I'm here. All right. Here we go. Hey, we have 14 viewers. That's my favorite number. All right. I don't see anything super important. I did strip the model right in front of you. I know. Avert your eyes. Oh, that is a fun, chaotic username. 100 catfish will break you. I will call you Cat. Or 100. I'll call you Cat. All right, just started using my 3D sculpting for miniature production and this popped up. Neat. Oh, cool. That is what I do. I do produce minis for tabletop games. I also have a side business where I make pinup models. This is my second stream ever where I'm not working on my main business of doing tabletop minis. If you look in the description, I have a Patreon link, not so you can spend money, but so you can like just see the kind of models that I generally make as well. I'm very passionate about making minis and tabletop and goodness, so if you have questions, please ask. Alrighty. We're gonna start working on the base, which is similar to how I would do a 25mm standard circle base for minis. I have some references of how this is gonna look. I'm going to do a small, medium, and large base, but not D&D scale. This is just a pinup like statue. She'll be 75mm tall, or scale anyway. So we'll just do the small base first. I plan to just have a couple mushrooms, maybe a leaf. We're gonna go ahead and taper this. I'm using the 3D gizmo to achieve that. I'm gonna subdivide a few times so it's nice and smooth. And then last but not least, I'm going to decimate this down to only 5,000 points because I like this outside ridge should be pretty smooth and clean. And then what I do is I duplicate it, move it up, make the size a touch smaller, and then Dynamesh. And then that's kind of like what I can add like the organic shapes to. Yeah. Kat says, I'll be sure to follow along. Awesome. If you're gonna hang out a lot and you're on Discord, join our Discord because we're super active. All the peasants in there are super friendly, and we have a lot of learning and aspiring 3D artists in there. All right, had to scrap my first armor set because I underestimated just how small the parts would be. I get you. It's a lot of throwing away and restarting. That is art. Aloha, I read your comment. Aloha is our mod that needs moderating. It's okay. All right, I like this shape here. We're gonna merge both of these down just so I can adjust the height, and then we'll re-split. Perfect. All right, so to give this kind of like a foresty texture, I like to use the layer brush. So especially because I know someone is pretty new to art, like 3D sculpting here, Kat, I'll give some like as many like tips I can think of as I'm sculpting as well. Don't get caught up in lots of brushes. You really only need like 4 to get everything done. If you look at my UI here, which I do share with my students, these brushes, you can get 99% of all your sculpting done just with these brushes. I know it's super, super small, but this is damn standard, move, inflate, and standard are kind of my favorite. I also have Age Polish and then Paint and Z Modeler, but those are for more niche cases. That is why we have Reaper to mod Aloha. It's true. Oh, second coffee is hitting. I'm feeling good. All right, I'm gonna use the layer brush here to build up some kind of like mossy texture here. I'm using just one of the default alphas. I'm going to increase the focal shift so we don't have that harsh like block on the side. There we go. I think that's a little too small of dots, so I'm gonna make my brush size much larger and enable back face mask. There we go. That's what I wanted. I'm gonna use the contrast slider, which I use all the time. And there we go. We now have kind of a little blob here. It's looking a little more organic and kind of fun to look at. Sweet. Kat says, we'll 100% join Discord. I've been almost entirely learning by myself. Oh man, that can be really frustrating. So yeah, reach out, ask questions and stuff. I do have a full-blown mentorship program that's $30 a month. But if that's not in your budget or interest, not a problem at all. Hang out in Discord, ask questions, we'll help you out for free. The Discord is free. Can someone get them an invite? Is my bot working? Let me see if my bot's working. It likes to work half the time. Yeah. It did work. Cheers, peasant. Join the tavern. There you go. Happy to have you. And that goes for anyone lurking too. Like, anyone that's watching and lurking, like, you're my people. Unless I am the content, I don't talk. I 100% lurk only. So. Ray says, $1 a day. Yeah, $1 a day for a mentorship program sounds much, much more appealing than $30 a month. I like that. Thank you, Ray. Ray is a former student of mine. Alrighty. I like that. And now let's start creating some shapes. We need mushroom. Do I already have some mushrooms created? Of course I do. But what fun is it doing a sculpt on stream and just reusing stuff that already exists? We are here to see art, not to see kit bashing. So the first thing I'm going to do is enable radial symmetry. I'll turn activate symmetry and this little R right here. And I never remember which axis it's supposed to be on. I think it's Y. Wow. And we'll start creating a mushroom shape. So this is for 3D printing. So if I do a normal mushroom, that's kind of ridiculous looking. But if it's kind of like this, there we go, and this kind of brings down, you'll have to put supports all the way around the bottom, and nobody likes that. So what I like to do with my mushrooms is just taper them, and it's like, oh, it doesn't look as mushroomy. It does. It still looks great. It totally works when they're small and there's a bunch of them. That looks like an ice cream cone. And then you don't have to support them. So just putting that note out there before we get too far. Reaper says, where do you see this cat? I don't see their comments. I'm picking just one word out of what their username is. It's 100, a catfish. And catfish and will break you too. That's a ridiculous username. That is funny that you're not seeing them. I guess I should call them catfish. No, that sounds mean too. There we go. Thank you, Aloha. Foxy says, pro tip, only pay during the 31 day months to get the best bang for your buck. That is true. Then it's less than $1 a day. Cheeky. Exactly, tapering. You are correct. I'm going to build this in 2 different pieces. That way I can make a bunch of new mushrooms really quickly. I'm also going to enable symmetry on 2 different, I could do radial here as well. I will. There we go. Also, you can adjust how many points are working symmetrically right here at radial count. So I want less points here, so I just reduced it. There you go. And then let me look at some references of mushrooms to kind of see how I want to do this. Some of my new favorite brushes are from Flip Normals, and they're pretty much just variations on existing brushes in ZBrush. But I really like them. They kind of have this like clay feel and texture to them, and it just makes sculpting feel fun. Catfish says, catfish is fine. I never changed it since YouTube did change display names. I kind of like catfish, it is funny. Very good. You are now catfish. Another tip here is that if you have something you want to be spiraled, it's much easier to just like sculpt, like, what is it, vertical lines, and then come in here with your gizmo and enable twist. And if it's not twisted enough for you, simply go to your gizmo, click accept, and do twist again. Also going to taper the bottom of this. Got a fun mushroom. I like it. I love that no one can see catfish. So go to the top of the chat where it says top chat, a little drop down menu. You can change it to live chat instead. Poor catfish is being censored by YouTube for whatever reason. You are not a regular peasant yet, so it's not showing you to the other peasants. Oh, I don't know why. That's silly. Oh, I see you joined the Discord. Hello. I think we're being gaslit. Nope, they are very real. Nothing was better than when we had like a new viewer, and it was around the time that like Aloha was terrorizing me and Ricky was terrorizing Aloha, and so I thought this user was just Aloha and an alt account. I gave them such a hard time. They didn't come back. Not my best moment. I remember Aloha was like, Mia, you have to stop. That's not me. Please leave this new stranger alone. And I wouldn't. I would not. So I'm using this alpha to do a lot of the heavy lifting for me and just kind of create these fun, easy textures. And again, a lot of the things I do are very exaggerated too, so they'll print nicely. All right, now we have a pretty basic mushroom here, and from this I can really quickly make all kinds of different mushroom shapes. So let's do that. First thing I'm going to do is reduce the poly count because I'm going to make like 10 variations here and I don't want a million polys worth of mushrooms. Why can't I talk? Catfish says, I'm only real when under observation. I stop existing when you look away. Isn't that riddle of like, if a tree falls in a forest but no one's around to hear it, does it make any noise kind of thing? I like it. You're gonna fit right in. Guys are stupid. Oh, and Paint is here at work and can't hear for now. Lots of love. Everyone send love to Paint even though you can't hear us. Schrodinger's catfish. That also works. Alright, I'm going to merge this down and we're going to call this mushroom 1. Now I'm going to hold Command-Shift-D to quickly duplicate that. You'll never guess I'm going to name this next mushroom. Mushroom 2. Alright, let's make this look different than the first one. We'll make it more stout. And I'll grab my move brush and start to kind of pull some different shapes here. I like this wavy thing going on here. And then maybe we'll add some spots. I like doing, whenever I do like these kind of blobs, I kind of think of like a rounded triangle. That usually gives me pretty consistent results. Obviously I will erase a couple of them. That way we're not just perfectly symmetrical here. There we are. I'm gonna invert that mask and then inflate. And there you go. Now we have some spots. I don't love how blurry it was though, so I'll hold Command and Option, double tap on the masked part, and it'll make it a little more firm, and then inflate again. All right, there's mushroom 2. I'm gonna smooth the stalk of this a little bit, or the stem. Let's get 1 mushroom. Do a mushroom. I'm not going to worry about them like bending or the way they're going to sit until they are on the base themselves. As of now, they're all going to be pretty much upright. Reaper says, I love that Catfish has been kidnapped and made part of the family. I love this community. Do we have to call it kidnapping? But yes. Huzzah. I do think it's cute that when someone has a similar sense of humor as the rest of the peasants, you guys do just immediately glom onto them. It's very, very sweet. What I love too is we have so many people that kind of like, they'll disappear for a while, like months at a time, and they'll come back and everyone remembers them. Like we haven't seen Duke in a bit. Ron Swanson's mustache, Ron Swanson's mustache might be here, they just tend to lurk. But there's a few people that kind of come and go. Max, oh, it's a lot of former students. I'm surprised Empress isn't here. She's here all the time though. Anyway. Oh, how cool. Catfish says, I was actually hoping by next month to get the casting equipment to start at least small scale production. Having to learn mold making has been a lot of fun. Very challenging, very fun. Yeah, mold making can be very, very finicky. And if you also have a 3D printer, it's just like a match made in heaven because you can make tons of different molds. Yeah. Where is Seder? Seder's been having a hard time. Seder is our third mod, for those that don't know. So we have a rotation of our trio here. And they got a double helping of life last year. And yeah, they're sorting through that. I don't really know a whole lot more than that, which I appreciate. I am very much so kept out of the loop of my mods' personal lives, which respectfully, I really appreciate that. Yes, he is fighting the gremlins of life. Exactly. We only discuss Haverby things here. But I know that he's dealing with some heavy shit. Oh, I'm sorry, Paint. Hope your day gets better. Or work gets better. I know. He'll be back. It might not be until next winter, but we'll see Seder again. I'm confident. I'm kind of hoping, so it's been kind of a fun game for me, that like by the time Seder comes back, I can like draw. So obviously I can sculpt, but drawing, you know, with like a pencil, like 2D, has been much harder for me. And that's partly why I haven't been streaming, because I've been drawing so much and I'm kind of just creatively tapped. But your girl has been putting herself through her own art boot camp, and it has been awesome and very difficult. So I'm hoping by the time Seder comes back, I will be like, Seder, look, I can draw. And yeah. Foxy says, I volunteer as replacement troublemaker. That way I can be even more overworked. No, Reaper clearly loves the idea. Foxy, are you proposing to take our third currently vacant mod spot? Are you petitioning to be a mod? I'm not against that. I do like when there's 3, personally. Catfish says, I was going for my own game, but very quickly found out that was way too much for a first go. So sticking to working miniature, so that's the most popular. Plus, I just love playing. That's a very good combination. Do what you like. That's one of the questions that like drives me crazy, and I think it's kind of funny and endearing at the same time. Where I'll have students that are like, what should I be making to make money? And I'm just like, just make what you like. It's okay if you want to be strategic about it in some way, but you have to like the thing. I definitely had some people that joined my course to make minis because they were like, oh, minis are selling well. But they didn't like D&D, and it definitely showed in their minis and stuff. All right, we're gonna make a wall mushroom. I know I said I wouldn't curve any of them, but the wall mushrooms will always be kind of curved like this. They're kind of flatten you like a pancake. And let me look at some references. I never remember what wall mushrooms look like. I don't have a single reference of a wall mushroom. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna go to our Spicy Arts Discord and grab a quick reference for us. All right. You don't have to whack wall mushroom. You don't have to use Pinterest for references. I tend to use Pinterest, ArtStation. Who am I kidding? I use Pinterest. I don't use ArtStation anymore. I get so much variety on different kinds of art when using Pinterest. I like that one. That's a pretty good reference. This is more stacked and more aesthetically pleasing. However, this will print like no problem. This, I have to think about it a little bit. Oh, I don't have to do that. I'm gonna throw that reference into our channel there. And like always, if you're watching and you have ideas or references you want to share, feel free to do so. Currently, we're hanging out in the Spicy Arts channel. And I'll put this here. Very good. And we continue, now that I have a reference. Yeah, I wasn't doing this right at all. Very cool. Yeah, that's one thing about learning how to draw. I joke about it all the time that I don't know what anything looks like, and nobody does, but oh my goodness. Drawing versus sculpting. I can't believe how wrong I am. So it's a lot of like right now the practice I'm doing is like the planes of a face, and then I'll have the correct answer where the planes are mapped out on a different layer. So I will try to do it myself and then show the like solution. It's so humbling. Like I literally will spend a half hour trying to place the cheekbone planes correctly. And I'm like, oh my God. And that has super paid off. I do want to take a quick, cool detour here to show you guys some progress I made with my 2D art that affected my 3D. You don't have to know how to draw to sculpt, but it does help. Check this out. This is after only like 11 days of drawing. This first one was, it's fine. You know, this is me trying to sculpt a head. Kind of a different style here. I'm not really sure where the face planes go, and you can really tell that I was struggling with the cheekbones especially. I did okay with the mouth and other, it's okay. But after 11 days of just drawing cheekbones and face planes, look at the difference here. Look how much stronger the forms are, and it's really subtle differences, it really is. But when it all comes together, it's quite aesthetically appealing. Also, kind of a small development, look at how much better structured the ears are. That was an improvement that surprised myself as well. And then since I had this, I was able to make this stylized version where I pushed it, but maintained all of the planes, just changed the proportions, and got a totally different look. To do this version took me like 15 minutes because I just took what I currently had and edited those planes. So I'm really, really proud of that. For me, learning how to draw is kind of like eating my vegetables, and I'm hoping at some point it'll also be as fun as sculpting is for me, but we're not there yet. As of now, it's just vegetables. But yes, I am talking about all of my 2D art journey in Discord as well. There is a channel under our forum post called Mia's 2D art journey, so you can look at that too to kind of see what I'm up to. Paint, I saw what you posted. Beautiful. Good stuff. Very good stuff. You got to go see the people that make World of Tanks? That is so freaking cool, Ray. Oh my gosh. Ray says, oh, that improvement is fire. Thank you guys, thank you. That's why I pay someone to draw for me. I get you. I want to be that person. I want to be, it's like, I used to do commissions for 3D, but like, I just think it'd be cool if, even though I don't want to do commissions really anymore, I just want to have the skill set where it's like, oh, I want a book illustration or like book cover illustration, or I want a statue. It's like, me, I can do that. So that's my goal. I want to be good at everything. Small goal. Freak says, just have to throw some cheese on the veggies. So true. Broccoli and cheese, that's my jam. Just like 3D sculpting something and drawing with a direct reference. Exactly. All right, we are continuing with the wall mushrooms. Having so much fun hanging out with y'all. It has been a while. I'm very aware that you guys will just take as many M3DM streams as there is. You will be here. I'm still shooting for 2 a week. I think 2 a week is a good number. It's a reasonable number. I am curious if this is a dumb question to ask because you guys are just gonna be like, more. But I'm curious if you guys could pick the ideal frequency of M3DM streams a week, what would you guys pick? Like if it was once a week, but it was like a more, not like structured, but like super stream. What does that even mean? My first question stands. What would be your ideal M3DM stream frequency? And if you really do mean Monday through Friday every day, you can say that. Doesn't mean I'm gonna do it, obviously. I'm just curious. Again, we're thinking about the taper here. Everything is moving up like a dish. 3D printers can really handle whatever, so you don't really need to obsess on it that much. I really want to make sure y'all know that. That being said, it's still nice when there's not too much rounding off happening. going to pivot this so it goes behind it instead, because that's more of the shape that I'm creating here. Cool. Neat. We'll call this mushroom tree. So funny. Okay. Let's fix the blend here between. Yes. Very good. This one's pretty boring. It's just a mushroom. This is cute. It's like a toadstool. I feel like this one could be a little more interesting. So I'm gonna grab just the top and bump the contrast and kind of see where that gets me. Yeah, I think some contrast would benefit this immensely. So I'm gonna subdivide once, bump up that contrast, and then use my Orb Cracks brush. Even though this is more of like a hard surface brush, it doesn't have to be. I've been using this a lot recently to improve my fabric folds and among other things. Very good. And now to get more of that soft look back, I'll come in with my Flip Normals soft brush and kind of just think of what shape do I want here. And it's really gonna be kind of blobby. So I'm using a lot of like little circle scribbles, and I don't have radial symmetry turned on right now because it's nice to have some kind of like random variation. The inconsistency kind of makes it nice to look at. I'm gonna start adding some pits. Yeah. They're supposed to be on the bottom of it. What is it, like a moral or something? We're doing made up mushrooms today. We're gonna Dynamesh it, and again, contrast. Look how much more interesting that looks than before. It looks a little diseased, but I like it. Sweet. Just something minor. I was like, this mushroom needs to say something. Currently just saying mushroom. Ray says, Mia, I liked one stream every day, but Sunday with the silent ones. Oh, I forgot all about my silent streams. Those were cool. Those were really cool. Thanks, Johns, for stopping by. Bye. Hey, Taylor's here. Hello, hello. Finally caught you live. It's been a while. It has been a while. This is like my second stream, I think, the whole year. So, I mean, it's only January, but you haven't missed streams. I just haven't been streaming. Not because life has been bad, but because it's been really good. I am trying to pick what frequency I want to commit to with streaming. That way it's not a decision. I just do it. I used to stream every single day. Obviously, I think that's unreasonable, but I'm curious what you guys want. Before, I had streaming as more of like a cornerstone as like a business thing. I don't think it's gonna be a business thing. It's just gonna be fun. Sure, like community engagement, blah, 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 buzzwords, but at the end of the day, it's not paying grocery bills. You know what I mean? Maybe it can one day, but anyway, my point being is that I've really prioritized like projects and workflow over streaming right now. That doesn't mean that I don't want to do it. It just won't have a business level of priority. That's best said. But I think because this month of January, I've been so successful at getting my work done, that I do have enough time to commit to some level of streaming. And I just think it's nicer when there's an expectation. You guys know if it's twice a week, once a week, whatever. Yeah. Double Taylor. It's true. Thank you. I like the mushrooms. We started with the one on the left and we made the other ones from that one. I'm going to go ahead and do a poll so you guys can vote for It doesn't mean I'm gonna do it. I just wanna know what you guys want. And I'm wording it weird. I think once a week is not enough. So I'm putting every day, so 5 times a week, 4 days, 3 days, or twice a week. Just whatever you think would be your preference. Do we still have a gambling system? I don't think so right now. I don't think so. I think the sweet spot's gonna be twice a week, but I'm very curious on what your guys' preference will be. This does take some self-awareness on your guys' part to not just be like, more is more. It's like giving a little kid like full access to their Halloween candy and they eat the whole thing and get sick. All right, I'm happy with the mushrooms we have here. And then what I'm going to do is merge them down and polygroup them. So I got this one, this one, this one. So what I do here is I use this as kind of like a mini like building kit. So I'm going to duplicate it every time I want to use a mushroom. So for this initial base here, we're not gonna have any well mushrooms because there's no mushrooms for, nothing for it to grow off of. So we're just gonna be using these two. And again, every time I want a mushroom, I go back to like my building kit subtool, duplicate, and then isolate the one I want, delete hidden. You don't have to do it that way. This is just a way that I like to build things. We're gonna bring our character back so I can start planning on how this is going to look. For the small base, I plan for it to be very, very, very simple. Just a couple decorations. The medium will be a fairy circle, and the large will have a nurse log and a whole gorgeous thing going on. So we'll call this our small base. Scoot that over a touch. This does not need to be 1,000,000 points. Let's bring that down to 50,000. Foxy says, Mia, you forgot an option. Whenever you're up for it and into it. That is a super good option. That's kind of what I did today. But realistically, I function a lot better when I have like a definite guideline of what success looks like. I am a chronic goalpost mover. This is more of a peek behind the curtain, but your girl very quickly takes something that I feel like is enough, and then I'm like, it's enough. It's okay. Goals become expectations that become new goals. It's a mess. It's a mess. So if I can just commit doing it twice a week, and if I stream twice a week, I can think, yay, check mark. I am watering my tavern community. I need that kind of structure. Twice a week is actually winning. I'm so proud of you guys for not being like every hour of every day. No, don't tell her she has free will. We'll be deprived of content. Beautiful. Hello, Wendelier. Every stream is a surprise stream when Discord is muted, it would seem. Wendelier is now among my like Taver Peasant Hall of Fame because they shared a sketch of a monster they drew like all the way back when they were in high school, and they'll let me bring that to life. And then they mentioned like they loved it and they printed it big and it looks so cool. And specifically when Delia shared that they were like carrying the print around like it was Christmas and they just got like a new transformer. And that has just been like, that made my day. I was just like giggling over my coffee that morning. I thought that was the funniest thing. And like so sweet and so wholesome. So again, thank you, Wendelier, for supporting my art, but also for letting me bring some of your art to life in a different way. Because I know that's very personal. So yeah, thank you. Ray says, I was gonna say 5 days, but I chose to be humane. Thank you. Paint says, I do the opposite. I keep making goals and then moving the post way too far. No, I get you. I do that too. It's the worst. It's the worst. So be good to yourself. Someone new is here. What's up? You have also chaotic name. What am I gonna call you? I'm gonna pick one thing that's easy to pronounce in your whole username. 3. I'm calling you 3. Alright, what are the poll results so far? Or Abish, that's a better one other than 3. I went with 3. Alright, we have twice a week and then 3 days a week. Nobody wants 4. I agree. 4 is weird. Alright, we will shoot for twice a week, maybe. That's my thought. I'm gonna think about it, and if I commit to it, I'll let you guys know. And they say, call me Avi. No problem. Your caps lock is on. Alright. Let this auto save. Man, when I barely do any clicking, ZBrush doesn't crash when I stream. That's the trick. Alright. A couple mushrooms here would be nice and simple, and then I want something else to be part of this decoration. Maybe a couple rocks, maybe a few leaves. Rocks are really easy. We'll go ahead and just grab a cube. Grab our trim dynamic brush and just kind of cut some edges off here. Remember, you don't want to cut off too many edges, otherwise it's just going to end up looking kind of like a meatball. Clay polish will kind of help you clean those up. I like using the orb brush pack. You want to avoid stuff like this where it's a perfectly untouched plane right here. So I will just add one kind of rounded plane there, and then I will sharpen that up. Again, we have another untouched plane here, which is not the end of the world. I just find that it looks a little weird. Clay polish. There we go. We have a very, very simple rock. Beautiful. Let me go ahead and hide her hat. Speaking of, when I do launch this project on Kickstarter, there will be a version of her outfit with and without the hat, because though it's very, very cute, it does take up a lot of real estate. As you can tell, I have not looked at her head without the hat yet, so do pardon her absolute bald spot. It will be fixed. All right, we're gonna select this and duplicate a few of these. There we go. That's pretty nice and simple. I'm gonna go ahead and select my 3D gizmo here and just add a small bend arc. I like this because not only does it taper the model a little bit, it just looks nice. I'm actually gonna taper it as well just to make that a little easier to 3D print. I'm gonna bump the contrast even more because it's so itty bitty. When in doubt, I generally like to do things in groups of odd and evens. I find that's what makes things look the most balanced. So I have an odd over here, a single, and I have 4 right here. Kind of a silly rule, but it works for me. It's looking pretty simple. I like it. Go ahead and hide that. That's pretty good. Yep, I knew it. I look in the chat. Bald spot, bald. Damn, she was stunning until you gave her male pattern baldness. Hey, we are an inclusive group around here. Man, you gave her my hairline. Oh, goodness. Goodness. Catfish did change their name to something much, yeah, that's much easier to read. I like it. You guys crack me up. right, I'm pretty happy with this base. My only complaint is that I think the front and the back are a little too plain. So what I will do is I will grab my move brush, isolate just this top layer here. Ooh, looks like I have 2 copies of that top layer. There, delete one of them. And then we're just gonna add some little variations. I'm just kind of adding some little bumps here. I'm gonna keep the center of the base pretty flat. That way when people print her separate and the base, it's really easy to like sand a spot and glue her on. Like we don't want that here. It's just, yeah, you just don't want it. There we go. And then we are also going to detail the edge of this, like, I don't know, the base part of the base. You know what I mean? To be a little more interesting. I'm going to use my orb crack brush and just start kind of adding some little cracks in here that will look sort of like bark. Paint says, wait, clay polish? Why didn't I see that option? I'm trying to make rocks. Is it really that easy to make rock? I could tell. So Paint's one of my students and I currently have them sculpting rocks. I know, very exciting. Honestly, it's really good practice. But anyway, I did see in your latest assignment, I could tell that you weren't using clay polish. And I didn't want to tell you because your forms were coming along so nicely and clay polish can be a little bit of a crutch. So now you know. But I'm really proud of the work that you're doing. And it is best that you learned it the way that you did. All right, I'm going to isolate this. We're gonna add like a little wood knot up front. Something kind of whimsical and nice. Not going too crazy with the texture here. It's a suggestion of wood. As we do the medium and the large base, we'll make it much, much more interesting. We can actually add some of these lines up here as well. Think of these like cracks I'm adding as like the secondary form. So we don't have any surface noise yet, but you will want to add that. There we go. And now for like that surface noise aspect I was talking about, let's rotate that. I'll use Damn Standard with this alpha, which if you guys have been around for a while, this is my favorite alpha. I use it for everything. Leather, wood, skin texture. It is so versatile. All right, and then we will use this. Very, very light to give that kind of surface noise look to it. How nice is that? And if we think it's a little bit boring, then we can just use the contrast slider. There you go. We have our very, very first base. I think it's gorgeous. Go ahead and merge all of that down. Sweet. I would say that's a huge success. Do we have any questions? Sounds good, Taylor. It was good to have you here. Paint says, Mia, is there a way to permanently add a brush to your brush palette, or is it something you do every time? I finally have added brushes to my own freaking thing. So if you click B, you will see that my brush palette library looks way, way different than yours. All of these brushes are just seam brushes. Speaking of, my fabric game has been crazy, and this is partly why. Seams go a long way. The way that you add them in permanently is by going to like the directory. I also deleted a bunch of brushes that were there by default. Let me see if I can find the path. But you know, we can go to like applications, ZBrush. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. That was really gross. What are you doing? My dog like hacking. He's just being cute. He's like grabbing his face and stuff. You can't even see him because he's so black. You want to turn your head? Thank you. The movement makes it much easier to see you. Oh, you're just a black smear. I cannot figure out this camera. There you go. So cute. Yep. Okay, he's being all upset because we're not actually doing anything with him. I'm sorry, honey. Go to bed. I know. That was the saddest walk back to bed. False alarm. I just wanted them to see you. I know. He looks unimpressed. Anyway, ZBrush. So you find a folder that's like this, like ZBrush 2022, which is my version. And then you'll go down to Z Startup, Brush Presets. And this is where I put all those custom brushes, and that's how they load in by default. You can also delete stuff that you don't want to be in there, which is not under Z Startup Brush Presets. That's by going to ZBrushes, and I deleted a bunch of these. If you delete brushes, don't. Just move them to a different folder on your desktop, just in case you want them back. But good question, Paint. That's how you do it. Hey, Mikey's is here. Mia, how was he sculpting rocks? Paint was, let me show you. Because I know Paint isn't shy, and Paint sculpted a very nice rock. I'll show you guys, because it's not super simple. They went with the H polish brush. I'm grabbing a screenshot so you guys can see it. Here you go. This is one of my students' assignments. They grab their own reference. Paint is very independent, so they do a lot on their own. But this is how they were sculpting it. Do you see how like there's no clay polish here at all? This is very much so manually building up these forms, and then they went in and even added all these nice cracks and stuff. So I'm very happy with this. If they used clay polish, they probably wouldn't have had such a like dynamic looking rock. This is a really good piece you could then duplicate and then make like collections or like, what do you call that? Assortments of rocks. Anyway, similar to how I kit bashed a mushroom to make multiple pieces, you could do that with this. But yeah, there's no clay polish in sight here, and that's not a bad thing. Good job, Paint. Very good. Very good. Any other questions? Really good stuff. Clumps of rocks. I like it. Catfish says, does making manifold chainmail also give other people nightmares? No, it does not. It doesn't have to be that bad. The way that I do it is I take a ring. You can use array mesh and other fun things, but this is the easy way. I take a ring. I use ZBrush by half a few times. ZBrush by half a few times to lower the poly count. Inflate. And here's the thing. You're gonna create like a line of chainmail. So there is one loop, right? And it depends what kind of chainmail you want to make, don't get me wrong. If you want to duplicate it, all you do is hold command with your gizmo, drag, let go of command, and continue to drag. I'll keep that increment. And then from here, make one row down, inset just a touch, and then rotate until it actually is fitting together. I always think it looks kind of like ramen. And then from here, you do the same kind of thing. Make sure it's meshed together. Bam. And then from this plate here, you can really easily do a bunch, and bam, you got a bunch of chainmail. If you use the contrast slider, you can further adjust how skinny it looks, because sometimes that looks a bit better. And there you go. And if you're like, but Mia, I want this to be wrapped on an arm. I don't want it just to be a sheet of chainmail. You can do that too. You would use the same technique, but you'd use nano mesh. I'm not going to demo that because I don't feel like it. But it's the same thing where you just insert a ring and then rotate just slightly. But there you go. That is 3D print friendly. And if you're concerned about it, a really easy trick is what I like to do is use move and back face mask and click and drag just like that. It looks exactly the same from the front, but then it meshes into the mini a ton. Lots of good overlap there. So when you remesh, no issues, prints like a charm. Can you tell I've been doing this for a while? I've almost passed 1,300 minis. 1,300. Yeah, and that's characters, terrain, monsters. Yeah, good stuff. Oh, use a loop knife tool to carve out the sides. Loop knife? Is that a new feature, or are you talking about knife curve? or slice. I don't have any of the new brushes. I have old ZBrush. Very cool though. Yeah, back face mask is a lifesaver. Absolutely. Mikey says, so each polished brush for the rocks. You see what I did there? Yes, I see what you did there. Wendeller says, Ramen Knight, my next D&D character. That would be fun as heck. Knife lasso. Very good. Very good. I'm gonna flatten that a touch. All right, let's make our next iteration of base. I'm going to simply duplicate the small base and remix it, essentially. I do want it to be a touch larger because not only are the base sizes literally increasing, small, medium, large, I also want the complexity to increase. So we will increase. Keep the thickness the same though. Very good. And then things that are essential to this, such as that mushroom stands out a lot, we can go ahead and remove. Delete hidden, and then we will also mirror it. They'll never know. All right, let's make that fairy circle. To do that, I'm going to grab these mushrooms we made earlier in the stream, duplicate this, and we're going to select, we'll go with, I'm thinking here. We'll go with the toadstool because I think it's a little more interesting. Obviously, we'll end up using both mushrooms by the time that I'm done. But for now, we'll use this one. Here's one of my favorite techniques that's really easy to do is I will duplicate one mushroom like that, rotate it a touch. Do the same thing here while duplicate these mushrooms, rotate. You can see I can very easily create a ring. I will need to change the size and stuff, but we are just worried about getting the initial construction. There you go. Ring of mushrooms. Empress is here. Oh, good. A stream. I know. Ray says, Mia, do you do all your pinups use a fairly similar body shape or you change them up much? I do change them up. That being said, I haven't done a spicy project in a long time, so my skills have changed and improved as well. My last project was I think in 2024. If you look in the description of this video, there's a Kickstarter link there that'll bring you to every spicy arts project. Some of them, I mean, they're about the same, but some of them are a little more muscly than others. I did a pirate, one of my early ones, Bonnie, and she's got like really gorgeous quads, like just muscly legs. But the rest of them, yeah, they're on the daintier side. This is the most stylized I've ever done. The most, not the most busty, but definitely the most soft, curvy, the most impossible body, I would say. Like, who looks like this? But she's very pretty. So yes, speaking of, this will be a Kickstarter project. It's gonna be super gorgeous, super awesome. If you want to 3D print it, follow me on Kickstarter. It's free. I have a link in the description of this video so you can like follow my Kickstarter account. So when this does launch, you won't miss it. Granted, if you're around at all, I'm gonna talk about it all the time. But still, I would super appreciate that. And you can see all the old spicy projects I've done and the improvement. I've improved a lot. All right, now that I have these here, you can kind of start toying with like taper and just other kind of like fun shapes. Because right now I'm not attached to the mushrooms at all. They're just placeholders. I could even do weird stuff where I like twist them around her. I'm not going to do that, but maybe a subtle twist adds a lot of movement and interest. My dog is so upset that I called him over and then didn't do anything with him. He is laying next to me, just full pout. Why is it so hard to manually do this? There we go. My camera's flipped, so. Hello, are you just pouting now? He's looking up with big black eyes. Can't tell because he is pink, or pitch, not pink, pitch black. Hello. Are you bored? Are you so bored? Yeah. You can see his chicken on his bed. That chicken's currently his favorite toy right now. All right, we're back to work. Can you imagine if I ever like permanently mounted this camera? I would immediately regret it. All right, I'm going to Dynamesh these down because the tops are not attached to the bottom, which makes it very difficult to move them around. If I have them merged into one piece, I can use Move Topological and then really easily push these farther out. Yeah, that looks better. Make them even smaller. Yeah. Okay, so now that I did like this first draft of mushrooms, I can be like, I didn't like it. So I can do it again, knowing what I know now. I actually want a less busy mushroom, which I didn't expect that. I want them to be smaller and more numerous. I'm also going to take this mushroom here and taper the base. That way this isn't just like a 3D printing nightmare later on. There we go. I'm going to mirror and weld. And actually, you know what? I have an idea. Something that's going to make this more visually interesting is if I have it kind of like an amphitheater of mushrooms. So as it goes back, it will increase in verticality. Watch, it'll be cool. So I'm going to make the size of these a touch larger as I move farther back. I'm also going to Dynamesh these because I'm running into the same problem as earlier where it makes it hard to move them around. There we go. There we go. And then once we're kind of like towards the halfway point of the semicircle, I don't mind if they're the same size. Perfect, just like that. We're gonna add one more large mushroom back here. There we go. And now I will duplicate this and mirror. I will delete that center mushroom since obviously we don't want that duplicate. And look, this is gonna be way more visually interesting than what I had before. Oh yeah, that looks way better. Merge that down, move topological, and then we'll add some variation to these. So what was happening before is it was kind of taking away from the model itself. It was making it hard to see her feet. And just making the whole thing a little harder to read. This is going to be our tallest and largest mushroom. There we go. And now I can replace a couple of these with those toadstools to add even more variation. Like you, I'm going to get rid of and replace you with interesting mushroom. Very nice. I also think that this one should be an interesting mushroom. Duplicate, mirror, increase in size, and place. Heck yeah. Oh, it's looking so good. I like it, I like it. I agree. Ray says, I see what you mean about Bonnie. This mushroom one is definitely the most difficult to attain body. I agree. And I think it's because she's literally just a mushroom. I might do more details on her body that kind of like imply that she's literally just fungus. Speaking of, why is there a line on her face? There we go. Ray, were you here when I showed the base mesh I started this from? It was like a free base mesh on ZBrush or something. But this is what I made her body from. And if you want to talk about ridiculous, I mean, it was cool that it was free. And I'm like, oh, I'll kind of like work with this or workshop it. But the more I worked with it, the more I was like, oh my God, these are crazy proportions. The big thing was right here with her shoulders being so narrow, it barely can hold up her head and other things. So I am happy with, that was like my first kind of starting to work with the shape, and then we come here. So again, I added a lot of volume to her and not where you would expect. Just kind of making her look soft. That was my biggest goal, is soft. I actually think I made her boobs a little bit smaller, and then her belly a little bit larger as well. I'm still not done either. Okay, that's unobtainable, right? Sounds good. Thanks for hanging out, Jester, or Mix-a-Freak. That always throws me off. Payne says, wait, so you're telling me if I become a mushroom, I get the perfect body? I'm getting my shovel. Yes. Oh, say, Catfish says, I did post what armor I have made in the Discord, and you even put it in the right channel. Share your art. I love it. Hey, it's looking like a thing. Very cool. Looks like you're working in Blender. Very cool. It's a lot of work. It's tough. I think you have a good start here, though. I do. Any other questions? No, I don't think so. Then we'll continue. We've got a couple new people in Discord too. Mojo Jojo Ken. That's great. Who didn't love Powerpuff Girls? Oh my gosh. I loved Powerpuff Girls. Mojo Jojo. Very good. Good people. Too broke for ZBrush. I feel that. That's why I use ZBrush 2022. I shelled out 800 big ones or something years ago. And I will not pay for the updates because, God. And yeah, if you like to model, just use Blender. Just use Blender. ZBrush is for that like delicious, organic, soft sculpting, high poly stuff. But you can model in Blender all day. Yes, that is very true. I'm glad that Ray brought this up. So you know, mushroom circles, the center of them underneath the mycelium, they are connected. So that's why, like, when you see these fairy circles, they call them, it technically is one fungus. So they're all connected underneath. And that's also kind of like a fun little nod of why I want to do a fairy circle with her as a base, because like she is the hive mind, for lack of a better word. Mikey says, as a dad, we are usually treated like mushrooms, and I'm nowhere near a body like that. You just gotta believe. Yes, Empress, I will be tethered to... Oh yeah, I'm stuck on this update forever, and I don't want to be tethered to new updates. Exactly, exactly. I am really happy with how this base is coming along. I do need to make the texture on this a little more interesting. So I have some bark brushes that I bought ages ago. Now is the time, I think. What we're going to do is split off this piece here, and then we're gonna Dynamesh it nice and high. And then next we're gonna turn on back face mask, increase the Z intensity, and see if I can get this to look good. It's awfully noisy. So if I want more control, what I'll do is I will gently mask out an area, invert that mask, and then use the brush. Gives me a little bit more control over what the heck is going on. I think this bark looks okay. Let me load up the other ones. This is bark 1, I think. I can't tell. I'm just gonna hope that I selected it in order. No, let me figure out which one this is. That was bark 1. Good job, me, actually. Loading stuff in order. Okay. Bark. So we'll get bark 2, and while we're at it, let's go grab bark 3. Bark, bark, bark. Not narc. Bark. There we go. All right, now I have 3 different ones I can toy with here and kind of see what I like most. Ooh, I'm gonna like this one more, for sure. Yes. 2 is currently the winner. Let's see how 3 is. Oh, 3 is like the best of both worlds. Cool. Amazing. Again, we're gonna kind of blur the mask here. That is my dog. We're gonna blur the mask here and see if I can get... I do like it, but I don't love it. Let me decrease the intensity. And probably what I'm gonna have to do is kind of lay the texture on here and then do sculpting by hand. I know, sculpting by hand. What? I've never done that before. Joking. Let me just kind of throw some of these on here and kind of see how I'm going to want to lay this on. Really playing with the focal shift, that kind of stuff. Because I don't want to just blanket the whole thing like that all the way around. It just looks like a disaster. I think what we're going to do is mask the top and the bottom, blur a little bit here. There we go. And then just add it every now and then. It's going to be really important what intensity I choose. And intensity just means strength of the brush. There we go. That's what I want. That gives me a really good base to sculpt on and do stuff with. Very good. Add another one. Pretty much adding it all the way around, but at varying intensities. Great. And now that we have that, I'm going to zoom on in and clean this up. There we go. So to clean this up, I'm going to use orb cracks and just kind of make some of these lines more clear, more intentional. See how it's kind of blurry right now? I get asked all the time, like, oh, what alpha should I be buying? What brushes should I be buying? Nothing's gonna look better than hand sculpting, ever. You don't have to sculpt from scratch. Like what I'm doing right here is I threw down this brush with a really chunky alpha on it, which looks like it was a photo of bark that they just turned to a normal map. Anyway, but once you have that, get in there and start sculpting by hand. And that's what's gonna really make this look good. That's the best combo. Just like everything, if you buy a brush but you can't actually sculpt the texture or the thing that you bought the brush for, you're gonna be super hindered. You want to have the best of both worlds, which is you have a brush that's gonna kind of like be quick to like kind of speed concept, vomit the shape on there. And then because you can actually sculpt that texture, supposedly, you can come through and make it your own. Ooh, that's gonna look nice. So I think I can do it before and after. So here's the before, and then here is the after. And then this one section I'm working on right here, you can see this when it wasn't cleaned up at all, versus right now, you're starting to get some of that texture, that blending. So that is the way. Reaper says, sculpting by hand is fun. It's its own therapy. Exactly, exactly. Sounds good, Catfish. I'm so glad that you found us. We're happy to have you here. The UI for ZBrush was not made by aliens. It's meant to be changed. That's why. See, mine looks totally different than the default. Just Linkle. Strem. It is Strem. It's officially a good stream. We had some new people. We had a good amount of our regulars tune in. Very good. We've hit the stream trifecta. This is gonna print so deliciously. If you want to do really good tree bark, it's a mixture of organic and hard surface. Just think of it that way. So I'm actually using pretty much the equivalent of an H polish brush right now. And honestly, a lot of this hand sculpting and nice texturing I'm doing in the front, I probably won't even do as much in the back of the base here, because it's just not a focal point. It is not quite as important. I love that. All right, if I bump the contrast slider, what's it getting us? Usually I always like it with more contrast, but on this one, I'm actually happy with what I have here. All right, looks like we got 2 bases so far here. This is 3 million points. Let's fix that. And maybe I'll get some concept going for the large base, which is the most difficult. So are these mushrooms poisonous, hallucinogenic, or just tasty? For the sake of being cheekiness, I think we have to say tasty. Good answer, Paint. Yes. Yes was the best and funniest answer. Thank you, Paint. Mikey says, what is the star swipe thing that's happened every so often? How do you do it? The effect? Because, did you just boof at the door? What are you so mad about? Maverick is so excited Ricky's inside. Anyway, it's just a don't bark at human you've seen every day of your life. Okay, he needs to go see. You were so excited to go see Houston. Are you ready? Go ahead. Like he's never seen him before. Very exciting times, guys. Okay. Anyway, it's just a transition. I bought it on Nerd or Die, I think. I can hear Ricky be like, what do you want? All right, what was I doing? Yes. All right, I will now duplicate this, and this will be for the large base. So in order to do the transition thing, you add it in OBS, and it's literally called, you put it under screen transitions. I have it labeled Stinger. That's like the default. Yeah, it's cut, fade, swipe, and Stinger. So I have it on Stinger, and I uploaded that file that I got on Nerd or Die. I think it was Nerd or Die. Or is this an Etsy pack I bought? Anyway, they're like pre-made packs. All right, last but not least, actually probably best, we are going to work on the large base. Just for a bit here. And then I would like to work on the lingerie for her. I do think YouTube would have a meltdown, so just keep an eye out in the Peasant Social Pub on our Discord. I'll probably do like private streams there to do like the lingerie and stuff. That being said, just a reminder, when you join the live streams on Discord, it immediately connects your microphone. So if you don't want to talk, that's fine, just mute your mic. It seems like all of y'all are like, I'm gonna hang out with a bag of chips. Don't do that. Mute yourself. Nobody wants to hear your chips. But anyway, that will be a good time. All right, gonna keep the rocks, get rid of the mushrooms. And we're gonna make this the largest base yet. Also going to taper it the other way a touch and then condense. All right, for this super large base, I'm probably gonna use more of those like chaotic sculpting techniques that I talked about earlier, which is like just using a blob in Sculptris Pro, and we're just going with vibes. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start creating the shape for this mushroom log here. We're gonna be on the back side and using Sculptris Pro and the Move brush. Ooh, I might even just do snake hook for a lot of this. Snake hook has also become like my best friend. Yep, we're gonna use snake hook. Alrighty. Snake hook and move and back face mask. There we go. This is what I probably should have started the stream with. This is arguably going to be the most interesting part of the stream, but it's fine. This is the same technique that I used to sculpt her dress. Alrighty. Gonna use trim dynamic to kind of shape that. Now we're gonna peel it like a potato to get some planes in there that I want. Very good. Use Move Topological to hollow it out just a little bit. It's just gonna be an illusion. It's not actually gonna be hollow all the way through. Why? Because it doesn't need to be. We want it to be easy to print. All right, we want some secondary forms here. So I'm gonna start pulling off some bark shapes. And then we'll finally have a chance to use those delicious wall mushrooms I worked on. All right, we have potato log. Success. Hey, Otaka's here. Hello, hello. Foxy says, Mia, I can assist you set up a streaming channel where only peasants with permission can have open mics. That would be great. Unless you make me a mod to assist. Oh, that's true. I think it is time. Yes. I can't remember if I'm supposed to, if it's standard or moderate. 1 second. Squinting. There's 2 options of mods I can pick for YouTube, and I can't remember which one I'm going to do. But I think Foxy's going to ascend right now, guys. This is what's going to happen. Foxy has been around so long, and so consistent, and so good. I think you were 4th on my list, too. So, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yep. It has happened. Congratulations, Foxy. You are officially a mod, and more importantly, a Tavern Knight. Let me hop over to Discord and do the same thing. I pinged you because it's easier to grab the role that way. Bam. You've been given the Tavern Knight role in Discord as well. Alo is gonna have a meltdown. And then watch, Sator's gonna be like, life's back in check, and he'll be here next week, and our entire chat is going to be blue of just my 4 mods. Having 4 mods for a fairly small channel is outrageous, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I think we all knew it was gonna happen. I was already thinking about it earlier this stream too, but then you mentioned a way for me to be able to stream in Discord without the open mic problem, and I'm like, that is brilliant. That is the way. I don't know why I never thought of that solution. But yes, everybody welcome Foxy. Huzzah. It is wall mushroom time. Oh, I'm so excited for this. I'm going to use the wall mushroom to make the shape here more interesting. Like the silhouette on the side. There we go. Not that he can, but it'd be so funny if like Foxy just like deletes the server. Oh, you have access to the Tavernite mod channel too. That's right. You have access to the secret channel. Thank you, Foxy. And if you don't have permissions that you need, let me know. I barely get the stuff to work on my own as it is. It lasts 2 streams top. I have yet to strip a mod of their privileges. I have muted Aloha several times, but that's it. Ascension Foxy went up in rarity. That's beautiful. Very good. Just Lingual says, Mia, I can cause more havoc if you need them to have work. I do. Do it. Go nuts. Can't have any slackers here. Oh, and then Foxy, I'll message you about your perk. Every mod got something for being a mod, so I'll message you about that. You'll have some things you can pick from. Obviously this one doesn't apply to you, but kind of give you an idea. Like for example, I had a copy of ZBrush Core that I'm obviously not going to use, so I gave that key to Seder. So whenever they want to use ZBrush, they now have an option to do so. Not the full version of ZBrush, but something. What did I give? Aloha, it was mentorship, but then they kept paying me anyway. And then Reaper, I did the Reaper model. I think I did something else though too. I can't remember. Maybe I'll give you a priority ticket. I'll probably do that. I'll give you options though. And yeah, all the other mods who were like, I don't need anything. And I'm like, I know, but you're not getting paid, so you get something. What a historic day. All right, and this is where like the really fun shape comes in. We're gonna have like giant mushroom growing on the back here, which I'm very excited for. We're gonna use bend curve, and it's gonna be fun. Kind of like a mushroom tree. Not with back face mask, go away. This is the base I was most excited for. And then again, always balance. If I have 2 over here, I like having an odd on their side. Awesome. Sounds good, Reaper. Aloha's gonna be horrified that they missed this. But it happened so late in the stream. We're just gonna like turn off Sculptors Pro and we're just gonna scratch on some texture here. Obviously I'll do a nicer job later, but this is just to get some vibes. Bam. See, if your base shape looks good, it's crazy how fast it comes together. Empress. So like, will this print? Foxy, this is your first moment. You can mute Empress for like 10 seconds. This, if you want to, you know, overuse your power immediately. Reaper, ban. Please don't ban Empress. You guys are great. Ooh, I definitely want little blobs right here. Foxy, I don't know how to mod on YouTube. Well, now we know that when I'm streaming and if Foxy's the only mod available, you guys can do whatever you want because Foxy doesn't know how to fix you. That's fantastic. Something about that feels very on brand. All right, I want to make this base even more interesting, so I think I'm gonna add some little fungal growths on the side of it. Yes. Let's grab this by itself, a little bit of Dynamesh. Nope. Split points. Come on, ZBrush. There you go. Okay, Dynamesh, but not till like 5 million points, please. Alright, well, ZBrush is blowing up. See if anything else in the chat. Very good. Ray says, I love the tree and mushroom in the background. Right? I think like they're called nurse logs because they like nurse life for other things. Yeah. I have the mod chat open right now in Discord, so this is fun. Foxy, like in all serious, nothing likely going to happen. I was gonna offer the guidance on how to set up a channel, but that was all. Now I actually have to do something. Yep, I got you. That's in character for you. Bestow your wisdom, then peace out, like the Chad you are. Absolutely. Every mod has a special thing to bring, and there's actually very little overlap usually, which is funny, so. I saw there was a gap, and I saw that you would fill that, and I'm like, yoop. Cool, this is 8.5 million points. Calm down, ZBrush. Let's try again. There we go. That was better. You have to be very careful with what resolution that you pick when Dynameshing. Sometimes it gets very excited. Here we go. So we'll add another fun shape here. I want all aspects of the base to upgrade each time. I always thought this was kind of dumb. Like when I do 3 versions of something and one version's like obviously the cool version, you'd be surprised. People will print all 3 of the versions, but have like different paint schemes for it or like its own like model ascension. Like they'll do like a simple, like for example, let's see, let me show you guys instead of just talking about it. For like the simple base here, they'll like do her super simple. And then for the super epic large one we're doing, they'll do bioluminescent effects. Which I'm always surprised by. I'm like, I'm lucky if I consistently paint one thing. So, I'm so excited for this Kickstarter just to get people to print it. I have no idea what I'm gonna price things at right now, but probably similar to how I did my other projects. We'll see. Oh my gosh, I just love this face. She looks like a thing now. Though I do think I need to push her pose a little bit more, like bring this leg over here a bit more with her foot. But yeah, we'll see. Oh, sweet. Foxy's making a little channel on how in the world to set up this thing. Reaper's like, you can have all the power you want. No, I get you. If you need more power, let me know. I have not been burned yet, so I'm a little... whatever. I trust my mods a lot. Paint says, Mia, I forgot to say, I just finished another painting commission. Very nice. You know what to do. Post a picture. Or did you? Looks like you already did. Share your art? Nope, you didn't. It was just Ray saying that looks dope. Post picture. Ray says, that pose would be incredibly uncomfortable if her legs went that far. But is the silhouette nicer? You do have a point. This probably is the most comfortable and normal. Ray brings up a very good point. See, the thing when you're always pushing shapes, sometimes you forget how bodies work. And I'm like, but it looks cool. Aloha's back. Oh, do you guys want a streaming channel on Discord? Has Aloha not seen what happened yet? Sounds good, Otaka. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for saying hi. All right, let's get this. This was about the concept I wanted to realize. So let me see about adding some more mushrooms on the ground. I am really pleased that I got all of these bases concepted. That was more than I was expecting to get done today. Sometimes when I stream, I quite literally just talk to you guys the entire time, which is fine, but not very productive. She looks like a ballerina. I would love to do a whole set of pinups or based on ballerina poses or ballet poses. Just gorgeous. Duke is here. Hey, missed everyone. I talked about you earlier. I was just straight up talking about like, it's fun how people show up and some people are here more than others. And I mentioned like watch at some point in the next month or so, I'm sure Duke will come back in. You came up a little earlier than I expected, but hello. I'm working on a pinup, which is not part of M3DM, my normal business of Mia's 3D models. This is Spicy Arts. This will be a Kickstarter project. Link in the description. You can follow me on Kickstarter to see when this launches, but obviously I'll blab about it in Discord when that happens. It's just like a fun, different kind of project, kind of more like a diorama-esque with ridiculous proportions. I am aware. But yeah, that's the full update. Good to see you. Ray said, if you made her stride longer rather than wider, would it improve the silhouette perhaps? Yeah, that's smart, Ray. So more of a straight knee would be, yes, that is what I'm gonna end up doing. Good one, Ray. I can also bring that back a little bit. The whole thing needs to be tweaked a little bit. I'm probably gonna move her hips over a little bit too. We'll see. I'm so happy with how the base is looking. Oh my goodness. I feel like it needs uno más mushroom here. Looks kind of like a giant wall mushroom right here. Yes, that's what it's gonna become. Yes. Cool. Mikey says, I'm always hesitant about posting my art. I know I'm not that good. Post your art. It doesn't matter how good you are. We would love, 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 love to see it. I know it says different, but to me, there's so many problems I see in it. That's all art is. Are you kidding? You want to talk about problems? I'm a professional. I do this for a living. Look at this elbow. This thing has problems. This thing has so many problems. Don't worry about it. That's part of it. That's like 99% of art. It's just how good it is just minimizing the fuck ups. They will still be there. They will still be there. We would love to see it. When Delia says, does this mean it's based? Is that what the kids mean? Careful. I asked this question like a few months ago and I got roasted for it because I kept saying it wrong too. Aloha was like, please stop. I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's a good thing. I'm going to be 30 this year, guys. 30 this year. I will be 30 years old this year. Isn't that crazy? I feel like I look my age, but I don't at the same time. I don't know. I was okay with turning 29. I have feelings about turning 30. I don't know. It feels... Let's just not talk about it. Ray says, Mia, that looks like a seat. A pose of her sitting would be very cool. You know how much work that is. You know how much bends. That would be so good. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Duke said, I thought I felt my ears burning. I like that we get to see other projects you're working on. And I like to share. That is so true. As long as you create ethically and create it with passion, people will connect with your art. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sounds good, Mikeys. We look forward to it. Paint. Paint, you can't say that. Actually, you can. That's hysterical. We were all thinking it. I think that was our paint. Paint, that was our first spicy comment on a spicy art stream. So good job. You get a crown for that. Very good. This is the spicy art. It is. Hey, Jared said, welcome to the 30s club. Not yet. I have a long time. many months, many a moon. My birthday is December 14th, for those that don't know. So I'm definitely making a big fucking deal about turning 30 this year when I have an entire year before that happens. And then my husband said, ooh, she's cute. Cool mushroom lady. I love it. Let's go. My panness is rewarded. Beautiful. What a fun freaking stream. Oh, I enjoyed this a lot. All right, what was I gonna do? More mushrooms. We are going to be lazy, which just means smart. And we're just gonna take the mushroom circle and just move this bad boy around. And that's how we'll get some variation. So the first thing we're gonna do is mirror it. We're gonna click auto groups and then we're gonna hide mushrooms as they look circly. You go away, you, and you. Now, deleted some of them. Gonna take this and make it larger. And there you go. I got mushroom scatter with almost no work. You go away as well. Didn't dynamesh these yet, so they are not attached. There we go. Very good. I am so excited to get these projects launched. You want to hear something ridiculous? I don't remember my Spicy Arts projects doing that well, and then I looked at them. All of these projects have done over $500, some of them almost $2,000 for one model. That is crazy. Like, I cannot trust brains sometimes. I don't know why. I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't do Spicy Arts because I did okay. And I'm like, what? So I'm excited about this. It is very much so business viable, which does not always coincide with creative viable, you know? Because, like, I've been doing this long enough. Like, I know what sells. I know, like, I could do, like, a bunch of, like, tanks, for example. There's never enough sci-fi stuff out there. I know it sell well. But I don't want to make tanks. I don't. I want to make hot mushroom lady. So the fact that I can make money doing that is very exciting. Reminder to revisit old projects that maybe you didn't think were successful. And doesn't have to be money-wise. A lot of y'all obviously are not doing this full time because that's crazy. But like, even when you were learning, like Empress especially, I recommend looking at older works that you did last year that you were like not super proud of. And I bet you'll look back on them now with a lot warmer of a reception, because you'll see more to it as opposed to at the time when you had such high expectations or whatever. And of course, if you fall short of your expectations, you're not going to be as happy, even if it was really good. So keep your expectations low. Beautiful. Mikey says, that's my daughter's birthday too. Well, happy very early birthday to me and your daughter. Great. Paint says, I also said something in the Discord. I must have missed it. Or I must have glanced at it earlier. Oh, I see that now. I see it now. If you guys are just hanging out and you're a lurker and you're shy, you should join our Discord. Then you can lurk in there and not talk as well. We love that. It sounds like I'm being very facetious, but I'm totally serious. That's why I've been posting more art updates and mini tutorials, because I realize people are like looking at it. They're just not talking, which is totally cool. So yeah, you can expect lots of more art updates and good stuff. Have you bought your neighbor's house yet? No, I have not. My housemates that actually own this house I live in have been gone since like August of last year. National Guard deployment. Poor things. They got very unlucky. So they're still not even home. So we're putting house shopping way on hold. We paid off a big loan that we had. We have a Maverick Can-Am side-by-side. So that's completely paid off. So we're just paying stuff down instead of worrying about a house for right now. Because I'd feel so bad if we like bought a house and then left this house unattended when they had done so much for us. Also, we're taking care of their dog. And I don't want him to die. Dude, I'm so worried about this dog. Their dog, I go out there like right before I go to bed every night. It's just around like midnight. Just to make sure he's not like too cold. Like it's so cold outside. This dog doesn't shiver. He doesn't care. He wraps up in his house. He looks totally good. It's so funny. So anyway. Empress says, I will say I made an error. I got stuck on a piece of work for over a month because I was stubborn, but that gave me a guide to work from. There you go. You're still learning, still doing fantastic. So are you going to answer Payne's question? No. Sounds good, Mandelier. Thanks for stopping in. Small lessons. Small lessons. Empress, I am so glad that you are still hanging out and around. Most of my students, even when they leave the mentorship, still hang around, but we all have favorites, you know? And my favorites have always stuck around. I'm so glad. How has Aloha not said something about Foxy being a mod yet? I'm so confused by that. Ooh, that's a really good little guide. Thank you, Foxy, I'm seeing that. A speak role. Okay. Very good. Yeah, I would love having a Discord stream where people can only chat and not have voice. So I can do like what I'm doing here, but in Discord as well. I would be much more likely to stream because it's just lower. I don't know. I would just be more likely to stream. You can give him an extra blankie. Because it's so humid out here, it actually make him more cold. When you want to warm up your critters outside, you either one, bring them inside, or you can stuff their shelter with straw. That is like the way. And then Mikey's shared some art. I want to see. This is literally so good. This is literally so cute. Oh my god. The way you talked about it, I had reasonable expectations. Bro, this is fabulous. Oh my god, these are so cute. Everyone go hype up Mikey's. They're gonna share your art. Amazing. I've screwed up my heart. There we go. That's fantastic. That's so fun, Mikey's. My favorite is probably the cowgirl or the zombie. Yeah. If y'all want to see this art, join the Discord. There's Bunny. I freaking love magical girls and cowgirls. I knew Bunny would say that. Awesome. Amazing. Yeah, me too. Me too, Duke. It's worked out. The whole win-win. It's been working out really good. Absolutely. I think I just about finished the concept for both of these bases. Very, very happy about that. Let me merge all these down. We can do a little review, a little roundup. There's always cleanup to be done, but honestly, I have gotten so much less interested in like actually cleaning up my work. It's the least important part, honestly. In the beginning, it stressed me out because I thought I was just doing like, oh, good enough. And like, it's not that I don't care. It's just that how like straight the line is or clean the line is, it doesn't matter. Is the concept cool? I do think right here we're getting a little noisy down towards the bottom of the base. But when I look at it from the top view, it looks really good. So just from the front here, I just need to dip it down a touch. There we go. Awesome. All right, let's kind of review the bases we did. Where's my medium base? At some point, I deleted my medium base. RIP. Okay, we got a small, then we have a large, and we do not have medium. This is how you fix that. When you see that you have deleted something you didn't mean to and then worked over it a bunch, save your project. Click comma to bring up Lightbox. Go to quick save and go find a picture of the thing that you deleted because it'll be in there. All right, that's looking good. I think this has all of it. Yep, this is it. Double click on that file that has the thing that you wanted that you totally did not delete. And then merge down what you need. Can you see that I've done this so many times, it doesn't even faze myself when I delete stuff I didn't mean to. Move it into its own tool. There you go. And then click on copy tool. Finally, you can go back to that file that you had saved and then paste that tool and you'll be good to go. Everything is back as it should be and you totally didn't delete work that you did. Amazing. And now I can do that little review that I wanted to do earlier. We have a small base, medium base, large base. Large base is obviously the most cool, but there is a ton of value and to have these smaller ones as well. Very good. Oh, here we go. Avi, right? By the way, one question. Does the Mac Pro handle ZBrush high poly sculpting well? I do use a Mac and it handles it fantastic. I've had no complaints. It's been really nice. Good question. And then at ZBrushing says, nice model. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really happy with it. And yeah, they do super well because ZBrush is not very GPU intensive. It's CPU intensive. So, and even then, it's not even that CPU intensive. You really should not be sculpting with tens of millions of polys. And if you do, you'd have subdivision levels where you're going up and down. Unless you're adding like super fine details, like a AAA level model, like skin pores, that like textile weave texture on fabrics, you really just don't need it. So what I'm doing here, everything you see, every single subtool, every single base I have, I'm at 7 million polys. And it doesn't even need to be 7 million polys. It could be, when I export all of this, it'll be like 500,000. Good stuff. There we go. It is CPU core focused. Even if they are slow cores, it does quite well. Paint is correct. More cores, better performance. This is true. I would ask you guys which base is your favorite, but I feel like it's pretty obvious it's going to be the large base, so I'm not going to ask that poll, because that's a stupid poll. Okay. Avi says, gotta sleep, but yeah, thanks, Sensei, for the knowledge. Do I do live daily? No, as of right now, maybe twice a week or even less. If you want to stay connected and kind of follow, you can subscribe on YouTube so it tells you when I do stream, or join the Discord. I put an invite for you to join if you have Discord. It's free. But you're very, very welcome. You ask good questions. Oh my god, Paint just has a bunch of Pokemon on his desk. I love that. Let's see, got a Marowak, Cyndaquil, Aaron, Jigglypuff. Charizard. Is that a Pikachu with a... How do you say the white and blue squirrel? It's a Pachirisu. I can write these down. I can't say them out loud. Good haul. Oh, that's A-okay, Ray. The YouTube gods are very upset with me for streaming every day and then not streaming for weeks, so it's okay. Very well put. Yeah, Just Lingual does all this on his iPad, so yes, it does well. I always forget that, Just Lingual. You do well. Speaking of, I would like to see more sketches if you're still doing sketches. Just Lingual, if you really wanted like an accountability thing for like making art consistently, you could go into our forms. Like I made one like called Mia's 2D art journey. You could do like Just Lingual's sketchbook fill journey or whatever, or fill sketchbook journey, and just having like a channel that's kind of like dedicated to you posting updates, and then we can annoy you when you miss more than 2 days in a row. Like art accountability, buddy. Where is the Discord link? Did it not show it to you? It should be just a couple message above. It says a little mug. It says cheers peasants, join the tab of Discord. But it might not be showing it to you if you don't have live chat toggled. If you have just top chat. So I will just copy and paste it again, and that should work. YouTube's being really adorable with what chat it's showing today. All right, one more thing that I'm going to do is a fun render. To do that, I'm gonna click on Merge Visible. Ooh, that's a really fun thing it did here. It does that when it merges down a piece that was masked, but we don't care. We're just gonna turn off poly paint, turn on double. All right. And then all I'm going to do is duplicate the subtool. So I got a couple of them, and then kind of arrange this in a fun way. Actually, I probably just need to do the one. Yeah, let's do that, and then do one of the presets in Lightbox. As y'all know, I got two favorites, Radial Overlay and Preview AO. Let's try Radial Overlay, which has varying success because she has this giant hat, so it doesn't always do a great job with the shadows. Just Lingual says, accountability sounds terrifying. I think you could do with a little more structure though. It might be good for you. Probably good for me though. Yeah. Foxy. Yeah, I want power without accountability or expectations. Yeah. No. A little too pale, but still nice. Let's see if we can get a better one. Every now and then I like to use Material ID color, and that render looks quite good. That's nice. Just Lingual says, I can't actually sketch female anatomy. My last sketch was an attempt to figure that out, so I'll send it when I get back in bed later. It's bad. So the first thing you want to do is planes. If you can't draw like the planes of the body, like literally just like assemble her like she's a Lego, then don't even bother with the contours, because they end up looking like a Michelin man because you're just trying to do the contours, but you don't really know the plane changes that are happening. I see lots of problems when people are sculpting or drawing boobs, for example. They are not hemispheres, despite how this looks, but rather they are kind of like teardrop shaped. So what I mean by drawing the planes, I can actually give drawing advice now, guys, because I'm doing the drawing stuff. Crazy. I'll kind of do a little sketch over here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. How big? Make this without covering up art. There we go. All right. So what I mean by that is just like really respecting like where, like that's obviously your cylinder. I'm not gonna worry about the head right now, really. But the big thing is like this, when you're dealing with the rest of the anatomy, is being able to draw these basic shapes here, understanding the volumes. Because if you don't understand these volumes, and make sure you're keeping these contours here like these, like where the knee is at, that kind of stuff, it's gonna completely fall apart. So you wanna draw this like stick woman first and then clothes and that kind of detail. I didn't do the boob example I talked about. So if you've ever like done any sewing before, it looks kind of like that. Where it has like darts across the most full part. But notice that I'm not drawing the contour like this to her calf. We are really just kind of simplifying it and then have those contour lines of where they go. But yeah, that's where I would start if you're really having a hard time with female anatomy, because it is a lot different than male anatomy. Sounds good, Aloha. Good night. Oh, perfect. Avi says, I joined you. By the way, loved your joyful nature and the vibe. Love to have you here. We got 2 new cousins today. I love it. I mean, me, joyful, never. I did upside hearts before, but I guess it's a shortcut versus knowing the planes. I get you, yeah. Knowing the planes is the best because then you can change the proportions and get all kinds of different body types. Does that make sense? Because every body has the same planes. It's just how they're, the size and the proportions, how they relate to each other. Can you do a top light? Yeah, let me try that. I don't know if this will do it with the render. I'm not sure if it respects the color. Because I have a what is it called? A matte cap on, which has baked in shadows and colors. All right, that is decent. Let's see if it is respecting color. I know how to do this when I'm not using a matte cap. I don't think you can with a matte cap though, but I might be wrong. So let's find out. There should be purple on this. Nope, it doesn't care. So in order to have that, you can't use a matte cap up here. You would need something down here, which is, you can look, there's a slight purple tint on all of them. So if I use basic material, for example, that will work. I could do fast shader perhaps. What would look best? Or maybe in toy plastic, kind of having like a shine to this would be kind of cool. Emperor says, that's why I subscribe to Learning on the Go. I've yet to find an anatomy tutorial worth its cost. I just have 2 anatomy books and refer to them if I need helpful or find references. Hopefully at some point I will be your girl. I am learning how to do this right now. So everything that I'm learning through right now to draw is through the Doodle Warriors Academy. Super, super cool. So again, it's Doodle Warriors by Angel. Cannot recommend it enough. It is so much work and it is so clear and so to the point. And that is the reason why I've had such an improvement in sculpting faces, which is funny because I'm just drawing face planes. Yes. That is what I'd recommend. I'm hoping at some point I will have the courage to post my art there, because I kind of want him to know that there's like a 3D artist lurking in their Discord that has seen improvement by doing their 2D course in 3D. I feel like he'd find that cool. But again, if I'm not the content, I don't post. So, meep. All right, that was super fun. I had a great time. If you're just tuning in, join our Discord and subscribe on YouTube to stay posted what's going on. We worked on this model today, not the character itself, just the bases. We did 3 different bases, small, medium, and large, which scales up with size and complexity. Really fun, a lot of different like tidbits and kind of some cool techniques we learned here. But that is everything. I see that the overall winner for live stream frequency was twice a week, which is great. I'm not committing to it right now, but I'm thinking about it. I know what you guys want. We'll see if I get a firm schedule going. All I can tell you is I'm never going to stream on Monday. That's all I know for sure. Just not going to. Taylor said, I just tuned in as soon as you said, if you just tuned in. Meant to be. And then Matt says, such a beautiful base scene. Thank you. I am very excited to see this. Again, I want this on Kickstarter. I can't wait for people to buy it and then print it themselves, because there are some people out there, even like amateur painters, just getting this painted at all brings so much life to it. Very, very excited to see it. Alrighty. Foxy, see, hello, I can do it. You don't need me. You can be stripped of your power. You joined in, gave a lot of good tips, but if it's too much pressure, that's okay. Alrighty. I had a great time with y'all today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will stream whenever I stream. Maybe it's next week, maybe it is not. I don't know. If you want to stay posted what I'm doing, again, join the Discord. Okay. I'm gonna actually sign out correctly. Yes. All right. Y'all take care. Thanks for being the best peasants. And I'll see you around. Bye.